And we're going live.
Yay.
Hello everybody, we made it, and none too soon. So I'm here today with Syb. Hello Syb.
Hello.
And what we have playing in the background here is League of Legends new game, Ruined King.
Well, it's a League of Legends game. In the lore, it is not made by them. It's made by a third party, and this is the second or third game that's been essentially announced and released that's by a third party. So this is important because.
Hi Arturo, glad you could join us. Oh. This is such an intense opening scene. I really like it. Like, I just fired up this game to try it out yesterday, and Simon was like, honey, I need you for a second. I was like, hang on! Because I was like, I cannot not watch this. It's so gripping. Oh, man. It's so beautiful. And it goes for quite a while, too. Like, this is quite a beautiful, long intro here. Oof. And just the artwork. So amazing. Hi, Lady Reaver. We're watching the intro to new game, Ruined King.
Just staring at her booty. I think he was staring at her booty.
Right. Oh, contemplatively. We have a Luna. Excuse me. It's Luna's fault. I blame her. So yeah, that was the intro.
So yeah. So what does that have to do with the rest of the show? Well, it's Riot and League of Legends. That's what we're basically talking about today, because they are basically exploding all over everywhere. And for once, you know, Activision, I'm looking your way. Not in the bad way. This is absolutely shocking that a game company is doing things that people have been asking game companies to do for a really long time. But it's as it always is. Things are a little muddled. So we're gonna kind of go through kind of this stuff. We decided we boot up this game because it just came out a couple days ago. Hasn't been out. I think it's just barely been out for a week now.
Yeah, it came out on the 16th.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting game. This is actually made by by an indie studio that I was watching very closely, and I thought this game was going to be bad. Like, I thought that they kind of sold out, and I was so disappointed. But actually, turns out that it's actually pretty good. Now, the game that they made previous to this game was called Battle Chasers Night Lord, and it stems or follows the story of one of my favorite U.S. comics when those used to be good, and it features a really cool story that has a bunch of characters running around this like island thing and battling demons and all kinds of stuff. And that's basically the synopsis to the League of Legends game. So very similar thing, interesting mix of characters. Strangely enough, there are two, how shall we say, busty redhead pirate lady, thief lady things in both games.
There's a redhead lady.
It's kind of funny because in the previous game in Battle Chasers, there's this redhead.
It's quite the eye-catching color.
There's a redhead. So, and they both use like old-fashioned, old-timey pistols, and they're both they both know how to use their attractiveness to get what they want, and so it's very I thought it was kind of funny, is that the two games are the same. But this is only one game out of two that was launched this last week. There is a rhythm game that has come out. It is called and I lost my notes here. It is called it's Rhythms. Oh, I think I missed it. Actually, yeah, I didn't get the name down. It's a rhythm game that's based in the same universe. But you'll be like, wait a second, this is an RPG of some kind, and then League of Legends is a MOBA, and you're telling me that they came out with a music thing? Yes. And they also have launched a story, three-dimensional puzzle-solving game that's coming out sometime, I think it's early next year. And that game is also in the League of Legends universe. And then they also, on top of this, they also have a fighting game that's coming out in the League of Legends universe. And there is a rumored MMO, but we don't know. We don't know exactly what the MMO is going to be like. So that's a whole number of games, and they're not all made by Riot. Riot is actually only working on a few of those titles, like one or two of those titles, whereas they've gotten third-party studios to come in and do all these other games. So this game that we're playing right now, third-party developer, not Riot, not owned by Tencent. This is a third-party developer who makes games on contract basis.
And such beautiful, beautiful artwork. Oh my gosh, you guys are in for a treat. Like, even you can see just from the background here, you see like the little movements and like just the painted sort of like epic feel to it. It's seriously, seriously lovely.
I believe the music is too loud. Huh?
Yes, I turned it down a bit. Let me know if it's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the trouble of doing this like this. We can't always listen at the same time that I'm talking. It gets kind of weird.
It's not quite a waiting game, but it is a turn-based game.
It's not a waiting game. It's a. Well, I mean, it's a. Well, I guess the question is, what do you mean by that? If you mean it's a turn-based game, then yes, unfortunately, it is a turn-based game. But also, fortunately, for people who enjoy that kind of thing. So, yeah. Let's. Is there an intro here?
Yes. There we go. We're starting a new game.
When I was a girl, my mother was murdered by a low-life coward named Gangplank. He shot me and left me for dead. There was no trial. In Bilgewater, he was the law. I hunted him. I killed his men.
Here we have our redhead.
Die, washed away on the burning tide.
With a very tragic backstory.
But there were still monsters about. For centuries, the Boo-Boo people have protected these islands from the worst of them. But even they fear the heroines. Attacks in the form of a lethal black mist, courtesy of our unliving neighbors on the Shadow Isles. Each time, the heroines return stronger, while the Boo-Boo grow distant. How long can we rely
I love the
on
movement
fairies
of this
and magic?
artwork. So cool.
And it's not even hard to
My
do either.
monsters are
No,
Like,
right?
some of it's obviously.
This
harder
is
than others.
the kind of reminds me of like living art or live art. So it's like, you know, moving pieces of it to create that sense of movement and life to it. Arturo says he wasn't talking about the game's genre, only the delays.
Ah, gotcha. So yeah, so that's the. There's lots of really cool art in the game, and again, this is only one of several games that are in the industry. So what else is Riot in the news for? Well, if you haven't been, because this came as a surprise to me. I didn't really like get into it until, I think I didn't even hear about it really until about the third episode was out, and that is the show Arcane.
Yes, so good.
So we'll just. Let me know when you want to pause for the.
Right now it's on auto dialogue, so they're just talking at their own pace,
Well, at least our
setting up the story.
That may be true, but when he was Reaver King, Gangplank only used guns. If I unite the gangs with violence, will the city still think of me as a savior?
Gangplank was a tyrant, Sarah. You're tough, but you aren't cruel. I'm proud to be your first mate, and the rest of the crew is proud to call you our captain. The gangs will follow you. It's only a matter of time.
They can't follow me if they're dead. Hopefully I can
The voice
change their
acting in
minds
this
before they're all
game is
knocked
quite
out.
phenomenal as well.
Some dogs won't obey until you show them the
I
stick.
really enjoy it.
Well then, let's not keep Captain Thorn waiting any longer.
Ah, Reaver King. All right.
So we're not gonna talk spoilers about the show specifically, just general themes and whatnot. So we'll try and stay away from like all spoilery stuff. So yeah, Arcane is going crazy right now. It is absolutely going crazy. It is absolutely wrecking literally everything. Like it is literally like tearing up the charts. It is currently sitting at the 14th best rated TV show of all time. The 14th, and it's rising quickly. That may get into the top 10 here shortly, and in my humble opinion, I think they're right. Like I really do, especially if you're talking about shows in the first season only. I've got to say that there's a lot of shows that take a season or two to get into. Like Deep Space Nine took 3 seasons to get good. Like it was quite difficult to get through. Same with Voyager, and I would put both of those shows in my top 10 of TV shows of all time, just because because of a lot of reasons. I don't want to drag down to the weeds, but yes, this show is phenomenal. I would say, looking at season 1 of Game of Thrones versus Arcane, I would say that Arcane is a way better show. And it's weird because this is something that we've been asking for studios to do for a long time. And other than Earthworm Jim and a handful of other games that kind of had shows that were originally out, like before the stuff, like we got it.
Oh, it's so good.
Hatred will die with you. I was wrong.
Just a short clip. But yeah, like we've been asking for like shows and stories with substance, right? And it's so cool that like these guys who make video games are like coming out with like just something with such depth, right? And plus, like watching the Arcane show, like I don't know any of the characters other than like recognizing some of them on sight, but it was really cool to get like a lot of background and lore and like really immersive into like the whole world, the whole universe of it, right?
Yeah, and it's deep. There's a ton of stuff there, and I think what we have to kind of show for this is that Riot's taking things seriously and they're playing to win, right? And that's a good thing, because that's what I want game studios to do. I want game studios to improve. I want game studios to come up with stuff that's actually good, that has actual, like, you know, good gameplay, good story. You know, like, good lord, if Warcraft could muster up a quarter of the storyline that was in Arcane, and just have it in their dang game, that would be worth it. Instead,
Right.
I'm not kidding. I need to pull up a chart and show people, like, the storyline of you know, Warcraft, which is one of the most beloved franchises in the gaming universe. And somehow they can't write a story that makes coherent sense that you can play through and experience. You have to get books, and then you have to read this book, and then you have to read that book, and then you have to tie this small thing into this other thing, and then you got to be careful to remember the 50 million different retcons that they've done over the last few years, because they don't know how to do anything. And it's like you get garbage like what Activision and Blizzard is doing. You get garbage like what EA does. They throw in a slapstick story that takes approximately an hour and a half to go through, and you're like, oh, okay, was that worth it? And the answer is no, wasn't worth it. They don't know how to do their stuff right. So it's nice to see a gaming company, actually know how to do this kind of stuff, and actually follow through with it in a good way. That's not just, hey, we're reaching for the stars, we're reinventing the wheel for the 50th time over, and hey, we completely bombed on everything and just failed you all. There's that stuff, and then there's stuff like this, where it's like, it's actually tangible. You can actually see the gameplay. You can actually see the progress that's being made. And you go, wow, this is actually really good. Now, does that mean that Riot's perfect? No, Riot has a lot of problems. It had a number of problems with paying women less. Now there are arguable reasons for why people complain about that, and I have to say that in some cases, yes, it's not necessarily as accurate as some people might say. But then on the other hand, that is probably, I would say, an equal amount, if not a little bit more. That is true. People are paid a lot less, and the reason is greed. These companies are greedy. Like, look at what happened with Blizzard. They have or Activision. Sorry, it's not Blizzard. It's Activision anymore.
I see you've been doing some remodeling.
What can I say?
The story's pretty
The place needed a woman's touch. I don't think the previous owner would mind.
Guess not. Seeing as how you gunned him down, along with the rest of the conclave.
Are you here to parley, Captain Thorn, or to criticize my sense of decor? I trust you've considered my offer.
Offer? Hand over my operations to you, my fleet and all of my men, or else misfortune.
I really like her name, Misfortune.
Stolen his fancy
It's
man.
punny.
That will make you my queen.
Oh, it looks like there's gonna be a fight.
It looks like Bilgewater is still up for grabs. Now give it up, girl. You know I'd hate to ruin that pretty face.
Oh, them's fighting
So much
words.
for diplomacy.
You know, Raffen, I think I'm starting to enjoy it.
Wow, cutscene. Right, Lady Reaver? Very badass. But, like, pretty much that I'm gonna beat him. Short story. So Lady Reaver asks in the chat, so do you think game-based TV shows are going to be the new trend?
It depends. Like, they have to do it right, and they have to do it really well. And I have to say, Riot did theirs really well. Like it's phenomenal what they did. Now again, this isn't, we're not, like, this isn't exactly like Riot's like upper chief people. They got a studio to do this, and they hired writers, and they, by all intents and purposes, they hired a dang good company that does a dang good quality of work, and that's a good thing, and again, in contrast to other game companies, you know, there's a lot of them out there that are absolute garbage. I don't understand why there's not a regular, like yearly Mario show. Like that's something that I really don't understand why there's not a Mario TV show. Like it just makes sense, doesn't it? Like it's kind of like, well, yeah, I mean it's like quite literally really decent, right? So yeah, it's really odd in that way that for whatever reason they haven't done you know, things like that, and other not just Nintendo, there's tons of other shows where other games, other IPs, they could be doing stuff. We know that there's a Fallout show in the works. I believe it's being filmed right now. It's been very tight-lipped over there, so we don't really know where they're standing with that, but we know that that's coming, and that will ultimately be out and will be pretty darn cool. So that's great, and I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, goodness gracious me, the difference of quality in, you know, Arcane versus like every other show that's dropped this year has been absolutely phenomenal. You know, there's very few shows that have done that well, and Resident Alien I think is a good show, but it's not like it's like top 20 as far as like comedy for me, or well, not comedy, like overall I would say that it's top 10. It's in my top 20 list, but comedy is in my top 10 because it's comedy, obviously a smaller genre, but it's a really great show. So
You hear me, tyrant?
consider this your formal surrender. The syndicate will never follow you. I'll be tired. I'll die first.
Captain
It's
to
like,
speak for you all?
Right? It's such sassy dialogue.
Well then, Captain Thor. I'd say this meeting is adjourned.
Adjourned. Goodbye, Captain Thorn.
The rest of you, welcome to my crew. Prove yourselves loyal and you'll be rewarded.
Ruthless.
Betray me, or even whisper the name gang,
like you
and I'll
calls it a
stuff you in a
love
box
tap.
with your former
Yeah, right? I love these names.
Oh, sorry. I think she was actually referring to the abilities.
Yeah, the attack, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's misfortune stuff.
Yes.
So the elephant in the room. We need to get to the elephant in the room here, which is Riot is owned by Tencent,
none of their leaders.
and Tencent is
Even if I have to put a bullet in
partially
every
owned
captain
by
from
the
shipyards
CCP,
to the slaughter docks,
who,
I will
you
make
know,
them
do
understand.
atrocious, horrible things to
Bilgewater
people,
belongs to
and
Sarah.
they most certainly don't like video games. Like
No.
they're basically in a ban war over video games. There's going to be like I think it was 3 or 4 new video games in this year released, in the next year released in
Yeah.
China. That's it, 4. Like,
Rathan?
and that might be if they're lucky. Like, there are some serious issues with Tencent being there, but one of the things that this is probably fairly important.
Oh, it's okay. This is now battling some kind of ghost pirate. But yeah. No, keep going, honey.
I talked about this a while ago, that Tencent has Tencent doesn't want to be in China. They really don't. The party politics ruins their business model frequently.
Like already so far, everything in
seriously-
this game goes against so many things in that list that came out. Like
right?
even just this image.
Right? And so they really don't want to be in China anymore. There's a lot of companies that are pulling back as far as video games in China. They realize
How is
that,
this possible?
yeah, it's a big market, but the CCP will throw you under a bus, haul you into a court, and then pull you out into the backyard and and execute you if it services their needs.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a very, 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 very problematic thing, and that's not good. And so we have to keep our eye on this, and we have to be aware that their corporate structure may want to leave China. Their corporate structure has been buying a lot of games, a lot of companies outside of China, and they have been letting them keep their, basically control themselves. And this is good, especially for League of Legends. We see that this is actually a really good thing for them, because the overall state of play in a whole bunch of things seems to be improving. So that's good in that way. But why are they doing that? I suspect that they're trying to insulate their foreign investments to help them to stay concurrent. Because if their investments were to suddenly get hyper political and then enact the same list of demands that are in China everywhere in the country, everywhere in the world, their games would be completely and totally destroyed. Them as a company, they would bottom out overnight, and they don't want that. They want to stay independent. They want to stay, they want to have money. They want to have freedom. Turns out that that's what you really want when you're running a mega corporation, because turns out if you're being controlled and being annihilated from every direction, that's not really a good thing. So, that's a good question. I'm gonna check to see if this is coming out for consoles.
That is a good question.
Yeah. So just overall, this is something that worries me greatly. I don't like the idea of supporting Tencent in a lot of ways. But if they're keeping things separate like this, then it's a little easier to support them. I am still very annoyed at Riot. Riot will host competitions in countries, and then they will give the ability for those tournaments to turn off characters in their games so that you just can't play them. You just can't pick them. You're forced to play with other characters, and it's really weird. They go to these countries. I can't think of anything that joins these countries up in any way, shape, or form. But they remove all of the women from the game. All female characters from the game are completely removed, and you're only allowed to play with male characters, or this one spirit character that happens to be a female, but it's like a spirit creature, which doesn't look very girly at all. And so for some reason that character is allowed to stay in, but none of the other female characters are allowed. I wonder what the common denominator there is.
Right.
In that equation. It's so weird. And again, stuff like that really annoys me. And it's not like this is officially supported by Riot, but this does become a fairly common occurrence within some Riot games as far as competitions and tournaments in other countries. So how that stuff is exactly held out, I don't know. How exactly, or how better they've gotten at this kind of stuff, I don't know. I can't say for sure. All I can say is that a month ago, if you asked me hey, what's up with Riot, I would have said I don't really care, because that's how low on the list of importance they had gotten for me, and that's how little I respected their IPs. But a strange thing happened a couple weeks ago. My brother, he called me up and told me that my League of Legends account was active again and was doing some stuff, and I was like, oh, for crying out loud. So I guess it got hacked or whatever. So I immediately, I tried to log in, but I couldn't remember any of my stuff, so I sent a ticket off to Riot to get it fixed, because I just don't want people out there with my name on it doing who knows what. And they within a couple of days, they returned and merged a couple of my old accounts all into one, and gave it back to me. And I was like, wow, that's I haven't given these guys a dime in literally years, probably more it's been 8-9 years since I stopped giving them money. That's how upset I was about stuff in the past. And they went out of their way. They had to escalate it twice, but they got it fixed for me and they gave it back to me. And I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of impressed in the customer service. Like, the last time I had an issue with World of Warcraft, they never got back to me. Ever. So, as far as customer service goes, I'm surprised because, again, it's like, wow, who knew that in order to make your fans happy, you should service them in a way that makes them happy?
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought? Oh my goodness! It's amazing that this is so strange. So, yeah, very, 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 very interesting. So just a quick answer to the question: Ruined King does appear to be on Xbox One. Yeah, it does appear to be on
One?
Xbox. And it does look like it is available on Nintendo Switch too.
Ooh, very nice.
So,
yeah, I'm playing on PC right now, but with a controller.
So yes, I believe the answer is yes. It looks like it does appear as if the game is purchasable on at least 2 of the consoles. So that's kind of interesting. So, hello, Luna. Now she's come up here. She's come up here because she was like, Mama wasn't paying attention to me. I demand attention. So I've come up here, and Human better give me some attention.
So demandy.
Does Human, you want snacks from Human? Is that what you want? Here you go. Yeah, just take it away from her. She's like, no, I'll eat it. I promise I'll eat it.
Oh, regret.
So I've got a couple notes here. So when is season 2 of Arcane coming out? I've got an answer for this. Probably won't be out until sometime in 2023. So it is going to be quite a bit of a wait. However, another question that somebody might ask is like, well, is it going to be as good, right? Like, is it going to be as good as the first one? Like, it was okay, or like it's great now, but other shows in the past have come out. Season 1 is great, season 2 is okay, season 3 is meh, season 4 is like a travesty, and then sometimes season 5 is amazing, seasons, that kind of stuff. And I think I can answer the big question of will season 2 be good or not by answering how they made it, and that is that they developed, wrote, and designed season 1 and season 2 at the same time.
Oh yes, that makes sense. Then it should follow a similar flow.
Yes. So they in fact, I was doing some reading and looking around. It appears as if a confirmation is that basically, yes, all of season 2 audio lines have already been recorded when they recorded season 1.
Nice.
So I don't know
Also,
how much
hello, Jasmine.
re-recording. Hello, Jasmine. Yes, so I don't know how much of that will be hyper accurate, how much of that is actually going to end up leaning that direction.
Also, we
So,
have
yeah.
more story now.
I can sense the
This
fear,
really cool lady. I was
stagnation.
running around as her for most of last night.
Honor the mother
Yeah,
sense,
pretty
Ilawi.
awesome.
restoring
Yes,
motion
Alawi.
and driving him
Alawi.
out.
She's great. I really like her. She's so
Well,
cool.
I wish
Any
to fight
any
for
any
you.
girl who
I come
loves
ready.
tentacles. I mean, it's
If you
kind of
fight
Yes.
everything you have,
She's also
the mother
how you call it?
serpent may name
She's
you
a
where
healer heavy melee fighter. So it's a really cool combination.
I surrender to her will.
Yeah, she's pretty fun to play in League of Legends. From what I remember. This is something that we were kind of tossing around. Is like I used to be pretty decent. I got a challenger one year in League of Legends. So
He is strong, priestess. He may live.
Perhaps, if the goddess wills it. Come, our enemy awaits. These
no, I'm not
streams
going to
are
anymore. You go
full
sit
of
on the chair.
motion.
Yes, you go sit on the chair.
Megakaboros
You're fine.
spies upon us.
Why do you embrace this foreigner's priestess? The Langi do not respect the goddess or Buru tradition.
They
So
make
yeah, like,
their own way. They've
oh,
had to live.
This game is a little bit slow at first because like it's setting up the characters in the background and kind of like the whole story. Like even last night I played for like what, a couple hours, but I did spend a lot of time running around doing side quests, and it's actually got like quite a big map from what I can tell. And like once we have a moment here, I'll open up the menu so you can see. But yeah, like it looks like I'll probably get 3 characters. I'm pretty sure. This is clearly the second one. Maybe even, I think 4? 6. I think there's like 6 characters in total.
There's I think there's 6 in total.
Yeah, 6 in total that we get to explore. Because like I just explored, or I just got introduced to the 5th and 6th character towards the end of my running around last night. But, yeah, so here's Alawi. She's so strong, and she heals, and yeah. She's got some special dungeon abilities and fun combat mechanics. And here is the map. Yeah. So here's the map. This is currently the area that we are in. However, it is even larger if we go out like this. No. Look at this. This is the whole Bilgewater area that we're at. And there's like here's where we are at the slaughter docks, but there's like up here is where we were at with Misfortune, and then there's lots more areas down in here, and then off to the side over here to the east side of the island, you could say. But yeah, there's like so much to explore, and like each map is like fairly large. And then not only that, look, we have an ocean. Granted, I guess is like between like these 2 areas. I think down here is like that Gray Isles or Shadow Isles. It's all spooky looking and stuff. Yeah.
So, as far as the speed goes, Arturo, you can play this on, if you want to skip the majority of combat, you can actually play this on story mode, and that'll allow you to play through just the story. I was hearing that. So as far as the gameplay goes, if you play this on one of the top 2 difficulties, you're gonna end up experiencing this in probably about a 40-hour pace with a lot of combat. If you play this on story mode, I think you can blast through it in like probably about half that time. So so again, it depends if you're into this kind of thing, right? Then
Yep.
it's going to be different than if you're not into this kind of a gameplay.
I'm
I
super into
personally love this
RPGs.
stuff. Yeah, I love this mode. Like I said, this game plays almost exactly like the previous game that these guys made called the Battle Chasers, and there wasn't nearly as much story, but there was certainly more than enough. For my taste. I wish there was more, and again, I'm talking about the previous title. I really liked it, and and I thought it was great. I in fact started a second playthrough, but then I kind of like went, I got way too much stuff to do to keep doing this. So I didn't play through it too much, but yeah. So whether or not, like, again, the speed on this game is adjustable based off of the difficulty that you choose. If you choose story mode, you'll mostly just get the story.
Yep.
You won't get too much callback.
Tell me,
Oh,
can I
now
find
she's
blood?
talking to this little man. He's being
I am the
sassy.
loud, truth banner of the bones, champion.
Sure, lady. And I'm the River King, Tom Kench.
Why would you say who's asking for a lady who's carrying a jar of souls around?
Right?
I mean, seriously,
I try not to get into
Yeah.
that seems like an exceptionally bad idea.
Right?
Oh.
Well,
And like all his replies to her are so sassy.
See this sword? I've run it through hundreds of men.
So dismissive.
So how about you go on home?
That was a bad idea, little man.
I thought you would be strong.
Yeah. let me just tell off this lady who's carrying around a literal jar of souls.
Right?
Smash.
Ooh, Phantom Tentacle. And the Phantom Tentacle fights with me. It's great.
Like I said, I've seen so many animes. I know where this is going.
Smack, smack, smack. Slap, slap, slap. It's great. I really like the sound they make. They just get. Oh, we have leveled up.
Yeah, Arturo, I would say, like, if you're, and this is the thing, right? It's like I'm interested. Now I haven't picked up this game yet. As soon as Moon saw this yesterday, she was like, "I'm gonna get this. This looks so awesome." Me on the other hand, I'm still like, oh, should I really reinstall this Legends games? And I've been oohing and awing about it quite constantly. Yeah, you'd think we were talking about tentacles. You think time being. Yes, there are. I do believe there are fighting arenas, and I do like the challenge. Like, I really do like the challenge. Now, this game is moddable from, and so the mods coming out for it that might offer like more depth. That might come up with. There might be more interesting things to pick up with that. There might be some ways that the community can continue to add additional content. And that's cool. I think that I always love the more mods the better. Like, seriously, the more modding the better. So mods equal good things. But yeah, as far as just in general, is like as far as where we're heading, or sorry, where Riot's heading, and whereas we are as gamers are watching, I think these games are worth a consideration. I think the show is definitely worth a consideration. You can watch it on Netflix. You can also watch it in other places. I've been told, in case you can't get Netflix where you are for some odd reason. But this is really good, and I hope that this creates a positive future for video games in the visual medium. Because, like, just looking at the lineup of TV shows this year, I just was like, I was bored one day, and I think I was literally in a restaurant. I picked up a newspaper, and I just looked at, like, they're like, look at all these great shows coming to this channel, and I'm like, garbage, 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 not interesting, garbage, garbage, not interesting, garbage, garbage,
Right.
travesty, travesty, garbage, travesty, travesty, and garbage. It's like, wow, I wonder why I don't have a TV. I don't have cable anymore. It's so weird.
kidding.
Oh my.
Luna. Have you returned?
Yeah, she got bored of waiting. Like I gave her one treat. She was like, meow. And then she was like, "You gonna give me more?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Okay, I'm leaving. I'm gone.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye. Bye, human. I don't like you anymore." So, yeah, I think, yeah. So, anyways, there's a lot more stuff to kind of like look at in the future. We've got more games on the horizon. The musical, Hextech Mayhem. That's what it was called.
Oh yeah, that's the other game that was on the store.
So
Yeah.
Hextech Mayhem. That's their.
It's got Humdinger.
Yeah, that's their. It's a rhythm game that offers something new that most rhythm games haven't, in the fact that you can create your own rhythm stories by your own story. You can create your own rhythm within the game without having to customize or load up optional stuff. You can just choose to make a different rhythm than what the rhythm is, telling you to do. That's pretty cool. Like, legitimately, that's pretty cool. Oh, and here we go. You actually can have multiple characters. Okay, so this really does open up new windows. Modders could start to add in a ton of additional characters. I could see them doing multiple DLCs for this too, because apparently, yeah. So okay, all right, that definitely is going to be there. So yeah. Little note here on Riot Games. Riot came out with a event for, I think it was League of Legends. It went over very, very poorly. People were not happy with it, and they ended up apologizing to their player base, saying that they will do better. So interesting, very interesting. Again.
It's okay, Luna. You can have treats later.
There is a Halo series. I don't know where it's showcasing, and the main reason for that, like, I would assume that it's like, I know that they usually come on one of the big guys, but what ends up happening is usually like a single distributor doesn't distribute it across the entire planet. So from country to country to country to country, it's very different as to who is putting out that show, or who's carrying it, or who you have to buy it from. One country it could be HBO, and another country it could be Netflix, and another country it could be Hulu, and another country it could be CBS, and another country it could be CBC, or like, you never know, right? Like, you literally never know. It could be the Martian TV services, Mars, like, literally you have no idea, right? So so obviously, if it's made by Netflix and it's distributed in every country that Netflix is in, then that's typically how that works. If it's done by HBO or somebody else that's a little bit smaller, they're not in as many countries, then sometimes they'll pawn it off onto another service to allow them to kind of like network that together. So.
Save often.
Arturo says Paramount Plus, and that's probably accurate. Yeah, I think that's probably Paramount. But again, it depends on what country you're in, because it is different places. I know it's like some of my, like, Community Season 6 came out. This was a while ago, obviously, and I was like so excited to watch it, and then I found out that there's nothing you could do to watch it in Canada. There was literally nothing you could do. I'm like, who thought of this system? Who was like, hey, let's just make sure that nobody in other countries can watch this? It's like,
Gee.
you wonder. You wonder why.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the news. We've been playing this for about an hour. Moon can continue to show the game here, and then did you want to load up one of your further saves further in?
Actually, right now I'm like, since I'm not getting so sidetracked with side quests, I can quickly run to go more scenes. There's like another character that we're going to run into fairly soon here. We're on the hunt, really, for this. They call them the, what was it, the Blood Harbor Ripper? Something Ripper? But yes, she is, the truth bearer is seeking those who would disturb the motions, the tide waters or something, because like these people are like against stagnation and whatnot and so forth.
I love cultures like that. You know, they're just like, hey, you know, everything's lovely and happy, and then you should stay for the changing season, and you're all like, the changing season? Oh yes, it's the best. We've been looking forward to the changing season for a long time. And you're like, oh, the changing season? Okay, all right, sure. I'll stick around for the changing season. And they're like, great, it starts tomorrow morning. You're like, great. And you walk out of the little cabin in the morning, and everybody's running around with axes, butchering each other. And they're like, happy changing season day. And you're like, oh my god, I need to get out. It's a purge. It's a purge. So yeah, you have to be kind of careful with that kind of stuff, you know. Love the amount of like just enormous fish in this game, just like tied up everywhere. It's like, what do you do with 5,000 pounds of fish?
You feed the whole village.
People? Yeah, but like 80 people, like that. I mean, it's not like there's like, I'm not seeing thousands of people here, so I'm just kind of a little curious as to what they're gonna do with all that fish.
How dare you?
So I'm actually gonna see if anybody's looking on mods in this game.
Not bad.
Oh, there's definitely a Blade of the Ruined King mod. It's for Skyrim. It is not this game, obviously. Yes,
No, that's still cool.
Yeah, it's so cool that there's this sword that's in this game that has already been made into Skyrim mod. Oh, look at that! It was added over a year ago. That's so cool.
Cool.
Wow, it's not just one either. It's like they added a whole bunch of them. Wow, that's impressive work there, guy. Dude added 17 weapons. And oh wow, that is amazing. Wow.
Nice.
17 weapons. Good job, dude.
Well done.
The modding scene is strong in Skyrim still.
Oh, here's the other character.
So afraid, so alone.
I want that bandana.
You'll be crossed off my list. And you won't feel a thing ever again.
Ominous.
What list? I've never seen you before in my life. I'm not even a captain anymore. I haven't sailed in years. Please.
Abomination. Face the Kraken priestess if you dare.
Killing you would be fun. But meaningless.
Oh, just kicks him unceremoniously over the edge.
Forsaken one, do you think I am offering you a choice?
I love how tough she is. So yeah, check this out. Schmeech. Oh. That's a cool move. Oh no! My character's dead.
Wow, he
dare
just
you.
killed her outright. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh my
That is-
gosh. Okay.
Oh, who knew a temporary character like that would be killed so easily?
Right. Oh,
I did not see that coming.
did not see that coming. Okay. Get some more tentacles.
I wonder if there's a way to make them survive that, like if they can defend through it, or
Yeah, it's just
something.
reviving them.
like level them up maybe, or something like that. One of the many challenges that I actually really enjoy in these types of like turn-based strategy games, I like the strategy. It's kind of like I've been getting a kick out of playing mech games recently, and I think the reason why I like mech games so much is that it's a lot slower. It's not just like, I hate headshot games where it's like oh, first person to pull the trigger wins. It's like I really don't like that. It's not entertaining to me. I like being able to like strategize, and your fights are going to last like 20 seconds or more, time.
Jasmine in the chat says Battletech.
Yeah, I've been playing that a lot.
Now
I was up till 2 this morning playing that. Sleeping.
It's so funny because I just hear like ah!
Yeah, I just got my first not the king crab, the annihilator, and I discovered what fun mortars are. Oh dear lord, mortars are so fun. They are so fun. You're like, oh look, there's like 10 mechs over there, and they've all clumped together quite nicely. I wonder if I have something special for this occasion. I play it slightly modded, so slightly modded means that I think I only have a
great test.
Oh, premonition vision time. All glowy and stuff.
Goddess, help me understand.
Priestess, are you hurt?
How did the drowned one escape us?
The goddess favored him. I do not understand.
But you must. You are the truth bearer. The mother serpent's will flows through you.
Perhaps you need rest.
I really like Alawi's character and her title, Truth Bearer. She's like very, very forthright and like strong in character. And just like there's strength in her character besides the literal strength she has.
Yes. And I like the tentacles.
I also like the tentacles. The tentacles are great.
Elder,
Jasmine's commenting. I need some mortars.
Our madness.
I also, Jasmine, I also discovered that I used to be a big, like, UAC 20s.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah,
Such
UAC
is your
20s, just
charge.
gonna like core that
And you
mech
do
in
it
one
well.
shot. Like, boom, boom. This is like awesome, so much fun.
I tested
Then I discovered how fun it is to kill things when you have 5
Curious indeed.
UAC 2s.
Makes no sense.
I didn't know that UAC 2s were so fun when you had like 5 of them.
Possibly pass her test.
Ah, especially when they've been upgraded like 2 or 3 stars.
But
It really does feel like cheating
I should
quite
not
heavily.
doubt the
It's
goddess.
like, oh look, there's like
But now
3 mechs over there. Watch them all disappear. I'm a magician. I was gonna say musician, but that would be wrong.
Does the universe know what's destiny? Open yourself up to all possibilities and let the path present itself.
But
And I have quite the story for my my mech warrior
if this
character.
monster is worthy, have I been
Lots of
wrong
fun.
about
I I encourage anybody
If I
to
gave
check
the
out Battle
goddess's
Tanks.
blessing to
Those
those
are
who
fun.
did not deserve
But not only that, I've been playing
That
a
would be
playing a
blasphemy.
phone mech game.
Perhaps
I
should
ranked
keep
number
Mobile
1 in the
games.
world
Yeah.
last week. It was pretty fun,
I will not
and I had only been playing it for about a week.
Right.
So it's mech games are like I grew up on them. I'm really good at them. Unfortunately, I cannot play Mech Warriors 5. It's so depressing. I installed it. I was like a kid again. I felt so excited.
Something
It was so great, and I booted it up, and the motion sickness was so bad. I couldn't even spend an hour in the game. I was so sad. I was so
Right.
depressed.
That's such a shame when you're
It
like
really
so
is.
so psyched for the game and then motion sickness hits you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main reason why I like games like this. Is small chance I will get motion sick.
certain in my course of action, yet I have so many
Like I
questions.
just want to play a game.
Then ask them. It is in seeking these answers that you alone find truth where others cannot. But you must also find patience.
Some very good advice from this elder lady.
Yes. Patience. I would reflect on what has passed.
See, like, even through, like, this beginning part, like, you see what a strong and, like, straightforward, forging ahead type character she is, and yet she still encounters doubts. But, you know, she gets some pretty decent advice. And now we shall continue to forge ahead, because there's another character I really want us to meet. It's absolutely delightful.
Is it the mustache man?
Yes, yes, it is. Here he is, with the giant fish.
That is quite a man.
That's
This is
tough.
Alawi.
You know what I'm saying?
She's our champion, our truth bearer.
It is an honor to meet you. I am Brom of the Freljord.
Bro,
Freljord. You traveled far.
oh, so far.
My men say they pulled you from the water.
They showed me great kindness.
Walk with me. I am curious to hear more of your story.
And then the guys go, so, now what? Because he single-handedly hauled that fish up onto the harbor.
Great sickness has come to the Freljord. It has claimed the lives of many children.
Bram, it's really you.
Yes. And look, I have brought a friend. Be brave.
So cute.
Good girl.
These floofy things.
I will.
Rest now. Brom will find a cure for this. You have my word.
Brom, you promised the impossible. Your heart is pure, but the sickness is spreading.
For Brom, nothing is impossible. The Freljord is my home. These people are my family. Tell me, what must I do?
He is so wholesome.
Boy, my father spoke of a place called Blessed Isles. There, they possessed water, which was said to cure any illness. But Brom, that place was destroyed by the Black Mist. Shadow Isles, they call it now. Dangerous, even for you. Who knows if that water even exists? Sometimes a story is just a story.
Brom will return with this blessed water. Then, think of the stories they will tell, huh?
I love how positive he is.
Probably return with this blessed water.
Smash. Oh. Also, he reminds me of Colonel Armstrong from Fullmetal Alchemist, Friendship Through Muscles.
Yep.
We are friends now.
You fought the Black Mist.
So he's from a place that's all like ice and cold,
Yes.
and they have this true ice there, and true ice basically kills people out of touch. It's extremely strong, and apparently these guys could just walk around with it whenever they want.
Like, look at him. He's so tough.
All the muscles in these games, there's just so many muscles everywhere. Like, oh, so much muscles.
Yes, we have Muscle Babe and Muscle Man.
Your question, audience. She says, well, she says the Black Mist has returned.
What? The Black Mist. It has returned.
So helpful.
Bram.
Thank you, Brum.
Come with us.
I know the way.
I'm so delighted with his character.
It seems fate has brought us together.
This is not your fight. As Truthbearer, it is my sworn duty to push back the mist. Yet, your arrival here is no coincidence. This much I know. Perhaps it is the sign I was looking for.
By helping you face the mist, I may learn more of the cure I seek, and repay your people's kindness.
Your desire is strong. I will not stop you. Let us see what Sarah Fortune knows.
Defense. Brom carries a poor little friend with him. So cute. His little friend on his shoulder.
Yep. He does that in League of Legends too. It's quite the cute creature.
And now that I have two characters, I can switch between them. And look, I have different smashy smashes. He just does.
There's costumes in this game too.
Yes, I bought costumes because I was just like, oh, why not get so I could like see what it looks like, and because I don't.
Oh no,
usually
that's
get
how it starts. That's how they get you.
It's okay.
Oh no!
And now let's see. There he is. He is now ruined, so to speak. Oh, I can't see it in here. That's okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who like, he ain't no ruin. He's fine. He's looking absolutely fine.
Right. I also
not
got one for her
ruined.
as well. Alternate appearance. Now they're all glowy and blue. Smash! And, oh, where am I going? Let's see. Because we're gonna go back to Misfortune. And I think this way? Maybe? Is it? Oh wait, I should check the map one more time. We'll check up here. Yes, I think this way. Yes, we should go this way.
See, Jasmine, I don't know if I'd enjoy that in real time. I do enjoy the strategy of it, and I also, one of the reasons why I love strategy games so much is because I'm often doing writing and working, and so it's really handy to just be able to like tab out in the middle of a session, in the middle of a mission for like 2 or 3 hours, and then come back to it and be like, ah, yes, there I am. Yes, I'm doing that. And, yes, that and this and this and that and that and this and this and that. Yes, all done. It's like that's exceptionally helpful.
Perhaps a
You dare to high wave tax me? I will smash you down! This. Oh. Here we go. Smash. How am I doing for this? Oh, okay. Also, you pick up these like little story pages all over the place. This one, I picked up most of them in my other run, and oh my gosh, it's quite the story. And like, I like that they're not too long. They're like just little snippets, and they're so descriptive.
I've also I just heard today that there was a bunch of first time ever lore released, like really important stuff. Like this character called Thresh. Mm-hmm. And apparently for years people have been wondering who Thresh was, like what the background of his life was. Apparently first time ever you can actually read about his life pre being Thresh and find out his real name. That's impressive, like compared to other games where they'd hand it off to third party people. They're like, well, that's not really canon. It's like, then why did you hand it off to somebody else to create? Like,
right?
It seems a little stupid.
A little bit. Arturo in the chat has a question. Syb, is there anything on the game replaced? I haven't heard anything yet about it, personally.
Replaced? No. I still haven't heard too much. I haven't been paying attention too much because it is one of those things that hasn't been updated for a really long time. Things are really muddled around it, and there's been no clarifying voice out for it yet. It is one of those things that I would probably highly recommend most everybody to avoid until actual reviews come out, like shortly after the game release. This is one of these games that I cannot encourage people to buy or pre-order this thing because of all of the confusion around it, and I really, I wish we had said that a little bit more over like Cyberpunk, but I mean that came out of nowhere, like how just absolutely atrocious and just how absolutely terrible that was. It is such a letdown, such an enormous letdown of just like, all right, well, cool. I do suspect, I have heard a rumor that we'll hear something at the Game Awards, so if you are holding out for hope, wait until the Game Awards come up, and there's a good chance that you will be able to pick up something, or you'll see some kind of snippet of stuff possibly there. I wouldn't bet on it, because again, there's been no very like this is what you need a PR person for. When you're doing these games, you need somebody who just can just only hype up the game, but who has a good sense of what's going on, and then can communicate that clearly to the community of players. And there's a lot of games, there's a lot of them that just have absolutely not done this in any way, shape, or form, and it is a travesty of what people want and expect and enjoy out of this stuff. So, again, it's like, take it with a grain of salt, because it's literally all we can really do at the moment.
Exactly. This way or this way? Yes, this way. Brown is on the job.
Sorry, friend.
I love how those rat
You are not ready.
things look a little bit like sharks.
Yes, they're shark rats.
Like it's such a cool game design.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting is the hardest part. Like strike from dice roll. Very kind.
Strike with
Yeah, character design, and it wasn't just. It's not like this is new to this developer. Again, I really encourage it. If you like this game, you should really check out Battle Chasers, Night War. It's actually there's a mobile version out as well. I believe I don't know how many devices. it runs on.
Ever fist animals?
It's clearly a
That's mine.
decent. Like these guys
no
are
nugget
clearly have
bottles
like
does
really
not
good
test
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's been a while since like I've played a game like this kind of style that I've enjoyed so very much. Like,
And it's funny because like I think you would probably enjoy Battle Chasers Night War. You would probably highly enjoy that because the main character in that is this girl that has like superpower gauntlets and
Yes.
she's
Smashy
really-
smash.
she's really cute. She does smashy smash stuff. And there's some really funny dialogue between the characters. It's definitely not as like smooth as this game is. This game is way more smoother. It's overall so much more, like so much better. Just overall, we've really done an absolute job at this one, as far as like the sets go and the stuff. But it does play very similarly. So,
okay.
yeah. Jeff, I think we should wrap up because we did want to keep this under an hour and a half, so we're coming up on
That's
that
true.
right away. If you want to stream more of it, we can hop over to Discord.
I would
and
probably
do it
hop over
there.
to the Discord
So
because
if
I'm just like, I
anybody's
want to keep
watching,
playing.
They want to pop in, they want to ask some more questions, we pop in there. But yeah, this is not. Again, I should re-emphasize, this is not the new time window for this podcast on this channel. We have had a lot of changes and a lot of stuff going on. We just finished a major project, very exciting. We will be able to talk about that probably sometime next year. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
But we did complete the project. It's done now. We're entering the final phases of it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to show it off to everybody. It's going to be absolutely great, and really excited for everybody to see what we for a while with this stuff. So.
Yes. Okay. Smash. Alright. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. This is
This is our regular weekly podcast, so it's on the Triple S podcast. Go check out our other channel, Triple S League. We usually stream on that channel on the weekends with games and stuff. So yeah, super fun and whatnot. Yeah, so join us on the Discord. Invite link is in channel description. If you haven't joined already, come say hi. And yeah, we'll chat with you guys later. Bye.
Goodbye.